All right. Out of respect to all of you and your time, we know many of you are busy and you have certainly other class commitments and other outside of work commitments. We do want to start on time and end on time. And I believe, Professor Siegel, you said we had 4 hours? Was it to get the full extra credit, you had to actually be here to sign out in 4 hours? I don't know if you want me to do your homework. I could do your homework. I don't know if you want me to do your homework. I am kidding, of course. Professor Siegel?
Really quick, I'm so sorry.
No,
I think I misunderstood you. I'm like, that's okay. Hi guys, welcome. I'm so glad you're here for the Teacher Education Seminar. I'm Tricia Siegel and I put these seminars on, so it's nice to see students here. When I set up this seminar, I was trying to do a seminar about feeling good about teaching and education. Because when you take classes, you hear so much negative, and you hear so much negative in the media, that I really wanted to have one that kind of told you why we do what we do. Why do all of us do this job every day? So today's hopefully kind of a feel-good seminar for you. I'd like to introduce the people that are speaking today. This is John Krajewski. He's a principal at Byron Center West. Kevin Messina and Dan Takins, and he will tell you about their jobs in just a minute and tell you all of that. So could you guys give me a warm welcome and we'll listen to these gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Professor Siegel. I have to admit, we all wondered how many phone calls she had to make before she finally settled on the three of us. I'm kidding. All right, introductions. I'll go first, just a little bit about me. Again, my name is John Krajewski, and I'm currently the middle school principal at Byron Center West Middle School. And I love what I do, and I feel very, very fortunate, very, very blessed to have had the opportunity to work in education. Before I was in education, I graduated from college and then wound up being a police officer in Grand Rapids. So kind of an interesting career decision for me. 5 years with the Grand Rapids Police Department, and I really enjoyed that. But at the time, frankly, I started dating my now wife, who was in education, and just saw all of the good that she was able to do in the classroom and through coaching athletics, and just really saw the draw to the positivity that certainly surrounds all of education. So that led me to start taking some classes, much like all of you seated here listening today are starting to do. And the more I heard and the more I learned, the more I got really excited about that. Had the opportunity to begin working in Byron Center. Best thing that ever happened to me. I was very, very nervous in my interviews, wasn't sure, or when I finally landed a job and got my own classroom, it was just the best thing ever. 5 years in the classroom, and then got the opportunity to do some administrative work, and just very, very thankful to work with wonderful people like Mr. Messina, and with and for my boss, who's our superintendent, Mr. Takins. So up next will be Mr. Messina. Sir.
Well, it's good to see you guys today. My name's Kevin Messina, and I think this is a great venue to do this in because when I graduated from high school and went to Michigan State, I went in law enforcement, and that's what I thought I was going to be. I thought I was going to be a police officer, like Mr. Krajewski. Then I switched to landscape architecture, and I thought I was going to be a landscape architect. Then I thought I was going to be an athletic trainer, and so I was in that program for a little bit. And then I finally wound up in education, and it's been one of the best things that's ever happened to me. And the funny thing, too, is when I started out in education, I wanted to be a biology teacher in secondary, but I've been in elementary ever since I graduated. And I ended up teaching elementary physical education in Pennsylvania, had a great time doing that, and then moved back to Michigan and ended up teaching physical education in Michigan in Byron Center. And then ended up in a fourth grade classroom, and then ended up as a principal. So you kind of never know where your path is going to take you. So I think this is great that you guys are here today and thinking about a lot of different things. I've talked to a few people before, and they're like, yep, early childhood, high school English, elementary. So you never know where you're going to end up, and it's nice to be able to enjoy the ride. So I'm going to turn it over. You're going to hear us talk a lot, but I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Takins, and he's going to go next, tell you a little bit about himself.
Thank you, Mr. Messina. Thanks for having us here this afternoon. When Mr. Krajewski mentioned this opportunity and wondered if I'd be able to participate, I said, you bet, and changed my schedule. I enjoy it, and the reason I did that, I love being in front of young people, and missed that when I became an administrator. I miss being in the classroom and coaching and being with kids. So this is great when I get this opportunity. And just a few introductions regarding myself. I grew up right in Grand Rapids, and my family, actually, my father immigrated to the United States from the Netherlands. So I grew up in a home where English wasn't spoken. I spoke Dutch, and nobody in my family had ever gone to college, ever. So when I was in high school, I went to Grand Rapids Christian. My teachers, coaches, and school counselor, kind of the conversation we were having earlier, Ellie, saw in me that as they watched me interact with other kids or with my classmates, they saw, boy, you interact well with others. You may want to look at a career in teaching. And because of that, they really encouraged me to think about going to college, which I would have never thought about prior to that. So went to Calvin College, but also took classes at community college and enjoyed that. It used to be junior college then, the JC Raiders. Is it still the Raiders here? Yeah. Yeah, enjoyed that a lot. So I'm really thankful to be here today. I look forward to just sharing a few things when you look at the title, What I Love About Teaching, and then more so what I love about making a difference, a positive difference in people's lives. Like Mr. Messina and Mr. Krajewski talked about, where I was different, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher or a coach and work with young people. Never, ever had any aspirations to be a principal, let alone a superintendent. And I think that's kind of the case with both of you. People around me encouraged me to consider that, so I listened and enjoy the work that I do. But this is really exciting. I look around the room and I love the diversity, every walk of life, and thinking, boy, there's a lot of different folks in here that are considering going into education. And trust me, I'll talk about this in a little bit. There's no job that you can make a greater difference in people's lives than as an educator, in a positive way. But some of you can probably think of teachers you've had that maybe made you think just the opposite, that you didn't like your subject or you didn't like school because of a teacher not being positive versus someone who is really positive. And hopefully when you see those positive examples, that's what makes you strive to want to be that. I sure had a lot of wonderful ones in my life. So great to be here today. And I think I turn it back over to you, then we'll go through that. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir. All right. Much like when you plan a lesson, we'd like to kind of draw you in and make this a little bit interactive, give you a chance to participate. Did everyone get a piece of paper or a pen? If you need paper or a pen, please raise your hand and we will provide that for you. Paper and pen. All right, so our first activity, our launch, again, getting you engaged, getting you thinking about the wonderful profession of teaching. Just take a moment and in your own mind, think of your favorite teacher that you've had as a student, and think of 3 words that you feel best describe that teacher. So again, you're thinking of that favorite teacher, and you're just going to write down 3 words that describe that teacher. Take a moment to do that. All right, as we finish this up, if you wouldn't mind maybe just raising your hand and just sharing 1, 2, maybe all 3 of those words. Who would like to tell us maybe some of those words that they use to describe their favorite teacher? Yes, sir.
I put, do we have to say the teacher's name too? Or? Sure, absolutely. This year I'm taking an education class with one of my favorite teachers I've ever taken. She's very caring toward her students. She takes a very proactive approach. She doesn't just teach her lesson and say, well, bye. She some of the students that needs help after class, she sees that during class, and she allows them and encourages them to stop after class. So I would say caring, proactive. I haven't gotten my third one yet. So very caring and proactive.
Very caring, proactive. Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, thank you. In the back.
My favorite teacher is actually my social studies teacher back in high school, and for most people it's kind of a drag. But my teacher, he was really knowledgeable about all aspects of social studies, and he was really creative in the way he taught it, so it made it very entertaining in the end.
Knowledgeable, entertaining, caring, proactive. Anyone else want to share? Yes, ma'am. I apparently also wanted to be a game show host. I'm really getting into this, maybe more than I should have. And now, tell us what you've won.
Mine's actually my 4th grade math teacher. I think that's why I want to be a math teacher. She was very memorable. I still remember to this day all like the jingles that we learned from times tables and all the little tricks she used to teach us. So she's very memorable.
Wonderful. This is great, and I think it's just a good way, again, to get you to start thinking in your own mind, make it real, make it relevant. So we've got someone who's maybe using mnemonic devices, who's helping us connect that learning to something that makes sense to us where we're at. We've got a teacher who really cares, and you can tell that that's genuine. They're actively doing formative assessments, kind of seeing where the class is at. Hey, if you didn't get it, let's this isn't about me pushing through to the next appointment. I want to make sure you're understanding. This is important to me. This is important to you. Let's work on that. I'm so knowledgeable and so engaging, even a horribly boring subject like history, which ironically is what I taught. I'm going to bring that. I'm going to bring everybody into that conversation. So these are some of the things that a good teacher does, and we know that, and we've experienced that. I'll start with just a quick William Butler Yeats quote. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. And I do believe, sometimes we think education like you're just bloop, 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 pouring this knowledge. Here's the information, pour it into the bucket, into that student's brain. But what it really is it's the excitement. It's getting people to buy in. It's you as a future educator having the ability to make that learning relevant and exciting and engaging to draw people in. It is truly the lighting of a fire. For me, I sincerely mean this when I say this. Teaching is an honor. You know, we all need to find work and to pay bills, but isn't it a wonderful thing? Isn't it truly a blessing if you can find meaningful work that's also really in some regard almost a calling, something you felt you were meant to do, something that you know, as Superintendent Takins and Mr. Messina mentioned, where you're really giving back, where you're really bringing out the best in other people. Teaching is the ability for all of you, just like someone saw that potential in you, for you to find that potential in somebody else and say, hey, I'm going to positively influence your life. In you, I can see somebody who's nurturing and caring, and I can tell that you worked hard to be a student, and you're going to help another student find their way with mathematics. You know, maybe you didn't like mathematics, and you struggled through that, and you know what it is to be a struggling learner in mathematics, and you can bring that experience with you into the classroom and help someone, frankly, who was in your seat, so to speak, so many years ago. The ability to inspire, you just can't say enough. I think that we really do teach with our own personal convictions and passion, and that ability to inspire that learning is so key. And you wake up every day and have the ability to do those things. For me, as a, I hope, not boring history teacher, I really liked the character education part of working in the classroom. Public education is a wonderful thing because public education is just for that. It's for everybody. It's for everybody from all walks of life to come together, just like in society, and then it's a chance for you to help them. Hey, maybe these two young ladies get in a fight and they're not having a good day, and she smacked her, and none of us. Before we send them down to the principal's office to talk to Mr. Messina, you have that ability right there in that moment to talk to them about what good behavior is all about making good choices. As a second grade teacher, you could say, hey, somebody tell me what the golden rule is. Okay. How would that apply to this situation? How can we help our friends over here make good choices? You have the ability to have that kind of an effect on people all the time. It really, truly is a wonderful thing. Core democratic values as set forth by the state of Michigan as a former history teacher, I love that. What does it mean to be a good citizen? What is rule of law? How does that apply to you? How can you do your civic duty? Could you volunteer? Well, what kind of volunteer opportunities are there? So you have all these resources, all these opportunities, and all these students learning from you what it means, and you can model this best behavior. You can explain to them the value of giving back, the value of volunteerism. You truly have the ability, regardless of what you teach, to shape society. It's a heavy, thing to wrap your mind around, but what an important career. I think for me, and it's probably in many ways my own middle school mindset. I'm with middle school, 7th graders, 8th graders all the time. I think oftentimes, and I'll say this carefully because I don't want to be misunderstood. I've heard this before from other people that I really like. They'll say this. They'll say they won't necessarily remember what we taught them, but they will remember how we made them feel. So and again, now I say this nervously in front of my boss. They darn well better remember what we taught them because these are important things we're teaching them. But I think the spirit of what that quote is about is it's the students remember how you make them feel. They really do, and you have that gift, that confidence piece, and I can't speak to you or your middle school experience, but I had some real highs and some real lows as a middle school kid, and I remember both. I really do. I remember feeling great academically, maybe some things that happened athletically, and then I remember the bullying, the cutting words, the feeling of, God, where do I fit in? Who am I? What am I going to do when I grow up? All those thoughts. And as the adult in that equation, what you can do is so powerful and will change lives. You have the ability as an educator to change lives. You can give that self-confidence to that young person, to that student. Self-image, whether it's young men, young women, how they feel they look aesthetically on the outside, how they feel about their own strengths academically. You have the ability as the ultimate authority to either affirm or squash that. And I want to stay focused on the positive, but boy, I bet if I flip this exercise around and we flip that script, give me 3 words and tell me about a bad teacher you had, you could do that pretty quick too, and that's sad. We've all been there too. Swim coach who told me, God, I just wasn't any good. An adult said that to me as a kid. And you know what? To this day, I don't think I ever swam again competitively. Big deal. I don't think I was on my way to the Olympics. But the point is, somebody squashed that in a kid. I can tell, John, you won't be good at math. Really? You're going to say that to a student? But keeping this positive, you have the ability to say, I see in you an Olympic gold medalist. You could swim in the Junior Olympics if you set your mind to it. I see in you a future accountant. I can tell by the way, you interact in class and the way you're helping your small group here, You are somebody who could be an actuarian. You're bright, and I see that in you. You have that ability, that confidence, that ability to achieve what you believe. What a wonderful gift. What an honor. What an honor as an educator to be able to give that. And then, of course, the love of learning. Just your approach to how you solve problems, how you think critically, really in great part does come down to what was modeled for you. And every day you have the opportunity to go in and say to students, hey, learning is cool, learning is fun. When you hit a challenge, here's some ways we can work through that. Here's some ways you can find yourself successful in everyday life. All right. I'll step back and I'll talk about just the continuous learning. This has been student-focused, and it should. But what I love about teaching, and maybe you guys are going to all make fun of me because I'm a big nerd, but I mean this sincerely. When I took Professor Siegel's challenge seriously, I love the PD, the professional development. Even to this day, Mr. Takins brings in attorneys, he brings in college professors, he brings in other experts in the field. And I really feel like my life is richer for some of the trainings that you have given to me. Sent me to a Capturing Kids' Hearts training. I know that not only has that influenced the way I deal with students, with the middle schoolers, I know it's influenced the way I deal with other adults, and frankly, with my own children, with my three little ones. Just some of the things I learned. So that PD piece is fun. The preparing. I loved that part about being a boring history teacher. I found myself making friends who also liked really boring, finite pieces of history, specifically perhaps Civil War, and then trading books. Hey, have you read Killer Angels? No, you got to read Killer Angels. Okay, thanks. I'm going to check that out. And then, oh my goodness, I learned so much about, the first Manassas, second Manassas Battle of Bull Run, second Battle of Bull Run. Stuff that other people are like, what? But you really do get the opportunity, and I don't want to say selfishly because, of course, you're giving all this back, but you do have a job where if you are truly studying something you love, you can spend all kinds of time working and feeling really good about that. I learned all kinds of things about history that I really found fascinating, and I would say to my poor wife, hey, look at this on the History Channel, they got it, and it was like, whatever. But as an educator, you will find other people, like your example, that, man, you go to conferences and you meet these people and you work with them and you have other colleagues who are as excited about the Civil War as you are. And I found that very reassuring and a lot of fun. The students really are a joy, and I think the continuous learning, and I put students as the kind of as a subsection under that, because you learn so much. You learn so much about life and living and about cultures and about acceptance and all these wonderful things from your students. You're going to teach them, of course, but you're going to get a lot out of that as well. And that's a real gift. Every day is different. All jobs are important, and somebody working in a factory or doing a more repetitious job, there is nothing wrong with that. But for me personally, careers that I've had, that's what I love about being a principal. Boy, every day sure is different. As a teacher, every day certainly was different. That challenge of finding new ways to light that fire, no, I won't sing, really is something that you get to craft. You get to be creative. You get to engage in that way. Colleagues, when Professor Siegel wanted, some speakers, it's easy. I really do feel that, not because they're just sitting right here, but you work with wonderful, outstanding people, and that's a lot of fun. The friendships outside of the work world and the ability to work together as a team to positively impact students, such a wonderful thing. Just the opportunity to make a difference. Middle school, I'll give a quick middle school plug, then I'll wrap it up. I love middle school, and if you haven't considered middle school, this is my middle school challenge, because nobody goes in, well, there's a few people, I suppose, nobody wants to teach middle school. Really, on some level, I believe that to be true. I want to be a high school English teacher. Oh, I know for sure I want to do elementary. Everybody wants to be on top of the pile or with the really wonderful little ones. And middle school's full of a bunch of awkward, poor 6th, 7th, and 8th grade kids. But I'll say this, when you have the opportunity to work with that middle school student, you're going to love it. So if you get a chance to do some observational hours, I would strongly encourage giving us a chance. They're old enough to have very adult ideas and thoughts and opinions on things, and that can be a lot of fun, but they're still young enough that they're not too cool to be like, you're my favorite, you know, Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so. So again, it's a difficult transition for them coming out of this loving environment that is elementary school, getting ready to play in the big leagues, the flagship that is high school, and that bridging of those two worlds I take very seriously, and frankly I enjoy that challenge, but I think you might as well. And if you haven't thought about middle school, this is my shameless middle school plug. Just consider us. Connecting with the students and being able to be that positive influence. The character education piece again, it is important what we teach and then the processes around how we teach. How do you critically analyze something? How would you make a good rational decision, both in a problem on a test, but then out in the real world? But then again, that societal piece, how to live just a good life, how to be a good person, to make good ethical decisions. Mr. Messina, sir.
John? Well, I'm going to tell you, I had to do elementary because otherwise I would have no friends. And so I needed those little kids to come up to me and say, hey, Mr. Messina, hey, Mr. Messina. Okay, we're going to talk about a few things, and it's going to really piggyback on what John said today. Here's some things that I love about teaching. The first one is lifelong learning. If you go into it with a biology heart, with a physical education heart, with a math heart, with a psychology heart, the great part about that is you're going to be giving that back to kids, but you have to learn that and keep up on your learning as you go through. So I think that is what I love about it, is that I never stop learning. So even though I'm the teacher, I have to learn as much as the kids do so that I can get it across to them. And so have a passion for it, because you're going to be learning that throughout the rest of your life and for the rest of your career. I'm going to put some people on the spot here. What's your name right here in the stripes? Kendra. Okay, I'm going to have Kendra read what she wrote. I was peeking on her paper, okay? That's how I got through college, but that's a whole nother seminar, okay? But Kendra is going to just read what she wrote down. John had asked you to write down the 3 qualities. So can you write that down or tell us that?
I wrote passionate, understanding, and entertaining, and a few others too, but.
Okay. Passionate, understanding, entertaining. I'm going to pick on, what did you write down?
Fun, engaging, encouraging.
Okay, great. I'm going to pick on you. What did you write down?
Caring, a storyteller, and fun.
Okay, and I'll just pick on one more random person. I'm going to pick on you.
Said intelligent, fair, and understanding.
Okay. What I love about teaching, if you think of some of those things that they said, not one of them were math, not one of them were reading, not one of them was taught me how to multiply fractions, right? It was none of that. It was understanding, caring, passionate, funny. I mean, that is what matters. That's what I love about teaching, because at the end of the day, you are going to influence. John had talked about that. You're going to influence everybody from a little preschooler, we talked about early childhood, all the way to a kid who's trying to decide what do they want to do in their life. You know, they're struggling at home. They're trying to figure out what's happening. That's the stuff that matters. And I love that. And that's what I love about our profession. My wife is an engineer. She doesn't come home and talk about, oh, I made this awesome box today, and it was square, and the corners came to a perfect point. You know, but I walk in the door, I'm like, oh, I had this kid in my office, and oh, he was really struggling, and man, we made some headway, and we got him back into class. That's the stuff that matters. And that's what I love about, and that's just random people that I pick. So don't ever forget that as you start to look at classes and you think about, why do I want to be a teacher? Creativity, you get to do it any way that you want to do it. Yeah, there's constraints, and yes, there's legislation, and yes, there's evaluations, and all that scary stuff you hear in the paper right now, but it's all about creativity. It's about what you want to make your classroom. You got to get to be the, get to be the boss of your classroom. You get to be the CEO of what's happening in Mr. Messina's room, and that's what I love about education. And the best part is kids. If you don't like kids, don't go into education, okay? I don't know if anybody's written a book about that, but you got to like kids if you want to be in education. And you got to like them when they're not very nice to you, and you got to like them when they're loving on you. So you got to like all of that. So those are some of my key points to that. A couple other things that I really like about education. I love teamwork. I love working with other people. I love talking to people. I love interacting with people. What I'd never really realized when I was in your shoes was that I thought it was all about the kids. But you have parents. You're dealing with parents. Sometimes I have to tell other people how to be a parent. You get to bring that. You get to bring your experience that you've had as a kid to other parents, to other kids. And I love it that I get to work with colleagues. I get to work with Dan and John all the time, and I love that part. And I think, oh, this is a really good idea. And I sit down with Dan and John, and they're like, have you ever thought of it this way? No, but that's a good idea too. And so I love that part. So make sure you like working as a team. Make sure you like being around other people, okay? It's a people profession. So if you're someone who likes to sit in a cubicle and crunch numbers all day, right? When you're sitting in front of a professor, you kind of get the professor who's mailing it in, right? And they're just there, and they're just kind of waiting as you're waiting for the class to be over. But if somebody's truly there and they're vested in it, then it's going to go fast. It's going to go fast for you. And you know what? You're going to learn a lot along the way. So don't ever forget that. Understanding, you know what it's like. You know what it's the best part about education as well is we're kind of all experts, right? Because we've all went through school. We've all done it. So now we all get what it's supposed to be like and what it can be like. So you have an understanding. John talked a little bit about it. You understand what it's like to go through a really bad teacher, have a really bad coach, okay? But you also understand the flip side of that. You know that there's a teacher out there who really made a difference for you. Honestly, Mr. French, he taught me math. I know it sounds odd, but Mr. French taught me math. He was my best teacher, and I got a C+ in his class. Never could get higher than a C+, but he worked with me, he challenged me, he tutored me after school, and he was just there for me. And I still struggled in that subject. Never was able to really grasp it, but he never gave up on me, and that's made a lifelong difference in where I'm at today. You can be the change. If you went through, and let's say that you're up to this point and you're like, I've never had a good teacher, then you can be the change to make sure that you are a good teacher. So don't ever forget that. That's the best part about education is you get to make a lot of choices on that. There's a great book. It's called All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, okay? And it's everything from how you want to be treated to how people should treat you. Check it out. Even just go Google it, and it'll just have a whole list on there, and you'll look at that and you'll say, oh my gosh, maybe I don't need to go to GRCC. But it is an absolute fabulous book. And the reason why I'll put in, for those of you who are thinking elementary, and you got to remember, I was thinking I was a secondary person. I was thinking I was going to be a high school coach and I was going to teach biology. But the reason I absolutely love elementary and love being where I'm at is one is foundation. You get these kids with just bright eyes and open minds, and they're clinging to your leg for no other reason than you're Mr. Messina and you're their teacher. And that is just a great feeling. And so you get to help create that foundation and create that base. Unconditional love. They love you. They love you because you're their teacher. I mean, think about how powerful that is. That we talked about my wife. My wife doesn't walk into work and like, oh, the engineer's here. Ooh, okay, here she comes. But when I come in as a teacher, they're like, here comes Mr. Messina. All right. And they don't even know me. So they're giving me this huge pedestal even before they even get to know who I am. So I've got them already. That's what I love about elementary. A little harder as you go up, to be honest. A little harder as you get into middle school and high school. Not so much. But then you get to win them over. I like reading. I like books. I like what comes through reading. I like the experiences that you can have by reading something and putting a mental image to it. And there's nothing better than watching a kid learn how to read for the first time. And John had kind of mentioned it. When you'll have chances as you go through to go into like a secondary setting and watch, and an elementary setting and watch. Go to it all. Check it all out. Even if you think like, I'm a high school guy and that's what I'm going to coach football. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to coach. Go see an early childhood preschool and just see what that's like. Just it's going to be a couple hours. You go check it out, and just kind of see what it's like, okay? This usually happens in my class. Usually people get up and walk right on out. So that I'm kind of used to that. What I love about elementary too is just really the joy of learning. They just have a joy of learning. They are little sponges at elementary, and they love to soak it all up, and they give it right back to you in so many ways. And so that is really kind of my kind of synopsis of elementary is just you get them when they're young. You get to make a big difference, a big impression, and really set them up for middle school and high school, and get them with that nice foundation that they have. My biggest thing that I really want to walk away before I turn it over to Dan is to have just, if it's your passion, then go for it. And if it's not in your heart, then find something else to do, because there's plenty of things to do in life. And what I really love to see with any teacher is somebody who's had that passion and continues to have that passion. So just make sure it's something that you want to do. Explore it. Check it out on all levels. Make sure it's something in your heart that you want to do, because it will make the biggest difference in your life, in your career, and really the vocation that you pick. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Takins. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you. You can tell he's very passionate about what he does. And so is John. Just a couple things I wanted to impress upon all of you as you're considering a career in education. It's good you're here. I wish I would have had more opportunities when I was in high school or even in college to have something like this where I could interact with people in different professions. I'm sure most of you probably have thought about different careers. You talked about that, Kevin, and then really landed on what you're passionate about. So this is good. You have an incredible power to impact people in a positive way as their educator, their teacher, their coach. And it took those 4 words to hear that from a teacher and a coach to finally cause me to believe in myself. And unfortunately, I grew up in a home where my father was an alcoholic. He wasn't around very much. My mother was very busy with just trying to make ends meet at home. She worked, and so I didn't have much of that going on. And I believe in you. You're going to be okay. You can make it. I'm going to encourage you. So that was too bad. Those of you that have that at home, thank your parents, your brothers and sisters, your uncles and aunts, your church, wherever. Let those significant others in your life thank them. I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have that in my life. And because my teachers and coaches believed in me, you can do it. We're going to guide you. I made a promise one day that if I get an opportunity to go to college, I figure out a way to pay for it, and I get to become an educator and impact people's lives in a positive way, I wanted to make sure I could give back just like I'm doing today, like these people did for me. So I believe in you, and it's often not what we say, is it? Because actions speak much louder than words. I can say that, but after you spend a week with me as a teacher, your students will know. People you interact will know if you're being fake or not. Kids have an incredible gift for that. They know when you're being serious or not. This age group too. My daughter, who's a senior, is considering coming to community college next year, and we visited with you, and you showed us around the school. And so I know all 18-year-olds think, and she goes, "Don't give me that, Dad." She goes, "You're not really serious about it." She knows when I believe in her. A couple things along with that. Who knows what carpe diem means? What does that mean? Seize the day. And it's the type of job when I wake up in the morning, I'm just thankful because of all the rough times I've been through in my life and haven't had an easy upbringing and difficult things in my adult life. When I wake up in the morning, it's like, man, I get another day. I'm going to seize this day and make the most of it. And I'm in control of that. Then you think as a teacher, your impact on a lot of folks, maybe that grew up in the morning and woke up in the morning didn't feel that way, and because of the hour they spend with you or all day, then you change their outlook. Man, this is possible. Someone believes in me. I can do this. And what you get in return when I know I have that sort of impact on others, boy, that sure inspires me. So seize the day, the significant impact that you can have. Just a couple other things. If you're considering education, which sounds like most of you are, I really enjoy the creativity part of it. In essence, I have a curriculum to teach, a subject to teach, but when I walk through that door, then I can teach that subject in different ways. I can be creative about that, do what I enjoy doing. And what's fun, even as I walk around the room now, then when I see a child who maybe didn't feel real good about the subject matter, when I see them enjoy it more, then it helps me be more creative. And a lot of that creativity comes from my students, asking them, what is it that causes the spark to go on for you? Help me better understand that. And I love those conversations. Back to the book that you talked about, the kindergarten book, what helps me make my decisions when I have to recommend major decisions to the community is what the kids tell me. It's not what the adults do with the big college educations and all that. It's what the students tell me. Here's what makes sense, Mr. T, they call me. Although, Mr. T, I'm not really a Mr. T, but Mr. Takens, I would like to think, but they'd always call me Mr. T, and I love that, listening to you and, what would make this school better, enjoy that piece. So I love the creative part. Thank goodness for Mr. Messina's wife. We need someone to engineer and design those boxes and to build things. She does a great job with that. Education, though, you gotta love the variety. Variety is the spice of life. No day's ever the same. I have a little bit of ADD, and I would be bored if my job was more just this specific task. And that's what I love about the job, because it's always different, and it's a lot of fun. Not many people at your age, I never thought about it when I was in college that I want to go to school to be a principal or a superintendent. But that same impact you can have on your classroom, people around me encouraged, boy, think of you having that impact on an entire community. And I really enjoy that piece, seeing great programs that our kids can benefit from, and they can go out in the world and not just compete, but kick it out of the ballpark. Lead. And I really enjoy that piece. As an educator, that would be important, that those things are important to you. A couple other things, you saw the passion. Yeah, they call it the art of teaching. Have you ever heard that phrase before? The art of teaching. Actually, my master's degree is a MAT, Master's in the Art of Teaching. And teaching is like art. You ever heard the quote, poetry in motion? You can see it. And great teachers, it's a art form. They are really good at it. And so that passionate part is definitely about that. And being a teacher, you're almost like an artist with that. If you don't value relationships, that doesn't mean you're not a good person, but you really have to enjoy interacting with others. Both of you talked about that. I love that in a given day. If I had a couple hours with you, I would enjoy very much spending time. I'm a very inquisitive person. I'd love to know more about you, or what makes you tick, or what upsets you. So you have that every day. One of you mentioned what really stood out about one of the professors you have is that time you spend with that professor before class or after class, the encouragement piece. If you enjoy that, it's a great job. If you like relationships with people, it's wonderful. Enjoy that part very much. Just a couple things to wrap up. Tell a couple stories here a minute. One of you mentioned storytelling. And some of my favorite teachers were good storytellers. And I had my grandfather, who couldn't speak much English, and my dad not so much either. But I used to love the stories they would tell me, and I learned a lot about life on the stories they told. So if you like stories, hearing stories, or if you like telling stories, it is a great way to make teaching exciting, if you will. But I'm in it for the students. I'm going to tell you a story about Jimmy. And Jimmy was a student of mine when I taught at Valleywood Middle School in the Kentwood Public Schools. And prior to that, I had done my student teaching at Ottawa Hills High School, and had always wanted, I felt like you were making fun of me, but I wanted to be a high school teacher and coach football. And I student taught at Ottawa Hills and really fell in love with that age group. But when I was looking for a job, I couldn't find a job in a high school and got hired as a middle school teacher in Kentwood. You're right, I didn't want to really work with middle school. So that group is interesting, but that's where the job was, and I fell in love with middle school. And just a quick story, and I bumped into Jimmy not long ago, but when I was coaching Jimmy, back to, remember when I said I believe in you? Jimmy Freeman, I'll mention his last name. He's quite a well-known athlete that came out of Kentwood and went to Grand Valley, but there was, in 8th grade, there was a high jump record. I think it was 6 foot. And Jimmy just didn't believe he could get over that hurdle. And the hurdle may be a student in your classroom that doesn't think they can understand photosynthesis or accomplish something in writing. Whatever that hurdle may be, I use that just as an example. But I kept believing in Jimmy, but he didn't believe in himself. I said, Jimmy, you can do that. You have the talent to do it. No, I can't, Mr. T. No, I can't. I said, yes, you can. And we would have the track meets, and he'd go 5'9", 5'10", easily clearing 6 foot visually when I could see it. But as soon as that bar went to 6 foot school record, every time he'd hit it, mental, mind over matter. I said, you can do it, Jimmy, you can do it. No, I can't. So I lied to him. And I can still remember it was a rainy day, and we had to move practice into the gym. So we had the high jump set up in the gym. There were about 100 kids on the track team. So at the end of practice, to make it fun, I said, hey, let's have a high jump contest. And kids tried high jump that hadn't done it before. And it was 4'8", 5 foot. And we were moving up. Jimmy was easily going over it. I went ahead and measured it, and I actually put 6'1" on there. But I told Jimmy it was 5'10". And he had done 5'10" like clockwork. He went up there, that's nothing, Mr. T, went right over it. He got over his hurdle, whatever that hurdle is. I said, go measure that a minute, Jimmy. And I still remember it. That was 20-some years ago. He got one of his buddies, and they measured it, and he's going, you lied to me, Mr. Takins. I said, I did, but look what you did, baby. And he did. It was 6'1". And 20-some years later, when I think of all the things I've done in education and things that supposedly are big shot stuff superintendents do, nothing compares to knowing when I truly got that student to believe in himself, what he could do. It is an amazing feeling with it. And Jimmy definitely would be that person. So when I think about that story, I just wanted to share with you that that's the sort of impact you can have on people's life. And I mean it. When I get my paycheck, sure, that's great. But it doesn't have near the value that it does when I know maybe in a way I'm being a big brother to these two guys and helping them to be better principals, to care more about people. And it is really all about relationships at the end of the day. So the reward you'll get if you go into education and helping others get over their goals, their hurdles, you can't put a price tag on that. I'll wrap up with 2 weeks ago, my daughter, who always seems to have car problems, and I'm her best friend when the car's not working. If we ever want to talk, you ask too many questions, Dad. Why do you need to know that? You're annoying me, Dad. I'm going, I don't know, I just want to talk to you, hon, I love you. But if she needs gas money or she says, Dad, the car won't start. So I think we need a new battery, but you're coming with me. So we go to a parts store on Division 68th Street, and we go in there, and the person behind the counter there goes, Mr. Takins? I'm thinking, uh-oh, what's he upset with me about? But he said, is that you? I said, yeah, it is. Were you my middle school teacher? I said, I'm not sure. What's your name? And then he shared with me Derek Urbanowski was his name. And then you know what he said to me? And this gets me emotional because this is the impact you can have. He goes, Thank you for never quitting on me. I know I was really difficult to deal with in middle school. You didn't quit on me, and you believed in me. He went ahead and pulled out his wallet, showed me a picture of his girlfriend and his children, and that he hadn't made it through college, but he had a good job. He was taking care of his family. And he just said, thank you for not quitting on me. Thank you for believing in me. And I'm like, wow. It was so neat because then my 18-year-old was standing next to me, and she's wondering about a career to go into. What do you think we talked about on the way back? He goes, you think I could have that sort of impact on people? I said, I think so, hon. I really think so. So think long and hard about your career, and if you do go into education, take it really seriously. And that's where, if I'm ever a really tough boss, is when I see an adult who isn't having that sort of influence on a child's life. And if they're having the opposite influence, then I get a little bristly. And I'm saying, man, you are blowing opportunities to make a positive difference in kids' lives, and we need to talk about that. Thankfully, most of my teachers were really good. I had great influences in my life, so a pleasure to be here. I hope you can do that for a Jimmy someday. And that story I shared with you at the end, it's in giving that you receive, and there's nothing greater that has occurred to me knowing that I've had that sort of difference on someone's life. So thank you. John, I'm going to turn it back over to you and let you wrap up.
All right. At Byron Center Public Schools, one of the things that Dan does a good job teaching his principals is modeling. We should start with something that engages you. We should try and, practice what we preach, if you will. So all of you probably know what a think, pair, share is, but you turn to someone near you or a couple people near you, and you just have a quick casual conversation. So if you'll just pair yourselves off, and of course we're all adults here, so this will be easy, and just have a quick dialogue. What have you enjoyed learning about today? So what have you enjoyed learning about today? And then part 2, what wonderings or questions do you have? I believe all things happen for a reason. All of you came here probably for the extra credit, and I applaud that. Good for you. Nothing wrong with that. Don't be ashamed of the extra credit piece. And the treats, yes, and the treats. And I heard they're handing out gift cards later. No, I made that part up, please. But if there are any questions, you have some wonderful resources here. Certainly your professor, Professor Krajewski, Mr. Messina, Superintendent Takins. Anyone would be honored to answer any of your questions. So if there are things you're wondering about or had questions, I'm happy to answer that for you about the profession. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to ask Mr. Takins if he looks at portfolios when he's hiring online or if he likes the hard copy, because Fair State has us use a program called Live Text, and I'm wondering if it's important.
Yeah, great question. Teaching is a very popular profession, and for one teaching position, sometimes we'll have 300 or 400 applications for it. So then what does a busy principal do, or what does a busy superintendent do? I would say now with technology, utilize the technology. And I can do that while I'm sitting on the couch at night, or I was at the doctor's office yesterday waiting for my daughter's appointment, and I go through that. The hard copy, when you come in, bring that along with you. Definitely bring that along. But you know what's even more important? If there's something that you put on that sets you apart, and it's not necessarily your grade point average, but something that'll set you apart, share a brief story in there. If you make it into the interview, it's really important. Stand up, Mrs. Krajewski. I've had some people come into interviews and they do this. And they just kind of, they don't give me a firm handshake. They don't look me in the eye.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I've looked at your resume, really impressed. Looking forward to meeting with you today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Sense of humor. Once you get in, having a sense of humor is good because you're working with children and parents. Having a good perspective. Sometimes a teacher or a principal say, these parents are driving me nuts. And I'm going, why? Well, they're just complaining to me about their kids and they want what's best for their kids. But wait till you're a parent someday. Your most precious commodity is a child. So I take it as a privilege when a parent's just like beating me down, and I'm going, you bet she's fighting for it. It's her kid. So I don't take it personal then. Utilize the technology. Actually, it was your encouragement to, what's the program we use now? Apple Tracks, which you can upload. And then what I can do then is key into there, hey, I'm looking for a biology major, I'm looking for these things. Then once you come in, it is nice to have that short and sweet, have that copy with you. Other questions at all, or comments, tips? Go ahead. Right. Right. Do I think that's a good idea? You bet. You know, the interview, if you get an interview and you get in for 15 minutes, that's great. But when I got done student teaching, I couldn't find a teaching job right away. And I started to substitute teach throughout West Michigan. So I'm thinking, I get a day-long interview. And one of the best things I did was when I would sub, I would go above and beyond. I'd make sure when I left the desk was neat. I'd write out a note to the teacher. I would try to do as much as I could. And then she would say, boy, if you can get this Mr. Takens again, go into the teacher's lounge, go see the principal, offer to help out on the playground. But subbing is a wonderful way to get your foot in the door, or being a parapro, or lunchroom. One of our best teachers in Byron Center is Allison Abbott. She teaches 4th grade. When I was principal in Kentwood, she begged me for a job. We didn't have a job. Her first job was crossing guard and copy maker. And now she's one of our best teachers, and it took her a couple years, but she just said, boy, I'm going to show you how good of a crossing guard. It was her personality, getting along with people. I'd see out there hooting it up with the parents, and they loved her out there. She'd bring me hot chocolate once in a while. But that is a great way to get your foot in the door through subbing. Peanut butter cookies works too. Volunteering. Maybe there's a school nearby. Volunteering, offering to do tutoring, those sorts of things. Then they're going to get to know you and say, boy, not only is he a fine young man, but I've gotten to know his personality. And I've looked him in the eyes and I said, man, something about him. I'd like him in our school to have a positive impact on kids. That's how you get the jobs. Any other tips or comments? Or yes, sir. What's your name again? L.C. Cooper. Nice name. Go ahead. That doesn't say Hope College, does it?
No, it just says Hope.
See, I'm a Calvin College graduate, and then we have these issues with the Hope. But, yeah. Go ahead. What's your comment or thought or question? That's a great question. If you didn't hear that, you're thinking of high school. If we had time for a cup of coffee, maybe I can come back and do that sometime with you. But that's what I love about my job. I'm thinking maybe today, this conversation, 10 years from now when I walk into Kentwood High School and you said, remember when you came? I'm a teacher here now. And when you think, wow, I get to have that sort of impact. But I would definitely lean towards what your heart's telling you, but then be open to change, because I totally wanted high school, totally. And then middle school kind of came, all right, obviously I wanted the job. Then I became an elementary principal and absolutely loved that. So if you're really good at this, it doesn't matter if you're kindergarten, 11th grade, but to market yourself, if you become an elementary teacher because you're a male, just like you were saying, I think your boyfriend's going to be a nurse. Male nurses, when we interview for elementary positions, we like to have a few males on staff. So it's good for the kids with that. Just like female, I know a lot of you consider elementary, but there's not, I look long and hard for secondary female math and science teachers. Our young ladies need those examples. Your mother teaches science. My daughter, when she's had a female math or science teacher, says, I can do it. Females can do this. So do what you feel you really want to do, and it will work out for you. But elementary, I have to admit, I worked at all the levels. I think I probably liked elementary the best. Those kids do love you in a way that's, I don't get that rock star status when I go home. They love you, man. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But just interacting with you a little bit, I could see that you would be good at both levels, but maybe think outside of the box and consider elementary. And they'd love you. You'd be a great role model. Yeah. Yeah, well, they would love you. Go ahead. Sure. 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 Yeah, great question. You would, to a degree, you would have your basics taken care of, your education degree, but you would have to go back to take some additional coursework to be eligible to teach high school. So if you started out in elementary, but then you started to take your graduate classes or your continuing ed classes, just don't take it in anything. Take it in something that you may use later on. That'd be a great way to get your foot in the door. You may fall in love with it, but then there may be part of you, I'd love to be a high school teacher. So then you can go back and do that. You don't have to start from scratch then. Young lady, what are you considering with education? Preschool? And I don't mean to judge a book by its cover, but just watching the group a little bit, if I had more time, I'd kind of say, you remind me of some of our preschool teachers. And this, you do remind me very much of my daughter, and she's considering early childhood, but just your mannerisms, your smile, the things that I could see kids feeling really comfortable. And you got to remember, when these parents drop their kids off, that's their kid. If they walk in and then they're thinking, she doesn't look very nice, or she doesn't look very pretty. It's a fact of life. When I dropped, I remember when I put my 5-year-old on the bus, and she was all mine for 5 years, and I took the morning off from work, and I came home early that day. So when we lived in Zeeland, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm putting her on this bus. She's going to be gone, and she's going to go be with someone else, and I'm glad she knows how to teach, but I needed to know she was going to be kind of like her mom. She was going to be nurturing. She's going to love my kid. So I was thinking preschool or early. That's a great age group. Yeah, you'd love it. Any other comments or questions? You look like a middle school guy to me. Elementary, 5th or 6th I could see you doing. Like a middle school guy. High school counselor. Pardon me? Head Start or kindergarten. Is that a Michigan shirt you have on there? Where'd you say you went to school? Michigan State? Yeah. That would be the, if you were interviewing with me because I went to Calvin, if you had a Hope sweatshirt on, I'm like, not so much. Yeah. Anybody considering special education? That is a phenomenal, yeah. Thank you. Why are you considering that? Yes. Yes. Sure. Yeah. Where do you go to high school? Okay. Oh, sure. Yeah, that is a really neat career. Our special ed director, I was meeting with her this morning, and her brother has a speech impediment, and then she watched how much he struggled growing up. And then she said, boy, I really want to be a special ed teacher to have a positive impact. So that's a great career to consider, too. Anybody else want? What are you considering? Sure. I hear you. I'm kind of looking. What was that movie? Yeah, what? Dangerous Minds. Yeah, right there. That could be you. You go in there. And what you just said, whether you're in a Catholic school, a Christian school, an inner city school, or suburban school, or a country school, no, you can make a huge difference in kids' lives. But we do need our best and brightest in some areas where, unfortunately, those kids don't come to school. Mom and dad may be working 2 or 3 jobs, maybe haven't been read to, haven't been. That's where we really do need our best and brightest. So I would really encourage you to look at settings that those kids need you more than just a teacher too. I think she's got the profile of the, yeah. Anybody else? What grade group are you considering, Allie? 3rd grade? And then your mother is a high school science teacher, so. Yeah, and I would, through your teachers too, don't take what I said today. Work out, call a school. Hopefully there's some contacts, and go visit a 1st grade classroom per day. Go visit, and that'll really help you with that. Yeah. How come you're considering kindergarten, that age group, and there's somebody that had that sort of influence on you, or what's your purpose for? Who was yours? Oh, she. Yeah, I was going to say. What school was that at? Really? Okay. And so I suspect, because there was some real, I'm going to embarrass her, but there must have been some things you said, wow, look at the impact she's having on my flesh and blood. To this day, just a few years ago, I'm sure. So look at that. I know people got to go and then I'll be done, but what she just shared with her, I can guarantee you, you're going to go to bed tonight with a huge smile on your face. Wow. Yeah. But knowing you had that sort of impact, I don't know what job you can do that. So now she wants to do it. You just keep paying it forward. That's cool. What grade are you considering? Excellent. What sort of setting would you like to work in? Sure. Well, I was going to say that, but your T-shirt's a giveaway, The Great Gatsby. I'm thinking, yeah, he probably. Where'd you go to high school? Okay. Anybody go to Byron Center High School in here other than Allie? How about, you said you went to Zeeland East or West? Are they the Ducks or the Chicks? Chicks. Yeah. Good. Where'd you go to high school? West Ottawa. Okay. Good deal. How about yourself? Where'd you go to high school? Central. When I went to Grand Rapids Christian, that was our big rivalry, the Rams. But that's not a school anymore, is it? Is it? Okay. Okay. Joseph Applewhite. I don't know if you recognize the last name. He was he was the guy I competed against in sports there. Yeah, good. All right, I think we'll wrap up. I'll turn it back over to Professor Siegel and have you come back. What a nice story, though. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you get that from the college kids at all? Do you get that? Yeah. Well, before you know it, Mr. Kryaski was telling me the other day he had the grandkid of a student he had not too long ago. So, yeah. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I'm glad you were here. If you needed a slip for extra credit, go ahead and get one. If you want to take a snack with you, if there's any left, go ahead. And make sure you signed in. All we do with your email is send you notifications of other things coming up in this department. That's all we do. I'm glad you were here. I'll see you at the next seminar. Have a good one.